Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine for a moment a universe in perfect harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Then, bam, this radical accusation against the very nature of its ruler.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into what's called the creation-completion process. It's essentially this grand blueprint, right, for how everything from cosmic rebellion to a perfected reality is meant to unfold.
Exactly.
We're aiming for some, surprising insights into why an all-powerful being wouldn't just, crush a rebellion instantly, and what that really means for you.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how this whole narrative connects these foundational events: creation, the fall, redemption, right up to perfect peace.
Right.
It tackles those core questions about divine governance, free will, and, truth itself.
Yeah.
We'll explore the steps involved, their purpose, especially in proving a really crucial point about God's character.
So it kicks off with divine governance, yeah. Our sources say God governs through love and commandments. There's this throne signifying righteous, merciful rule over everything, a perfect setup, supposedly.
Precisely. But then Lucifer, one of the created beings, coveted that throne. And he made this incredibly bold claim.
Which was?
That God's commandments were actually impossible for creatures to keep.
Impossible?
Yeah. Which, if true, would make God unfair if creatures failed. It wasn't just saying it's hard. It was a direct challenge to God's fundamental justice and love.
Okay.
So God imprisons Lucifer, but crucially doesn't destroy him right away.
And that always struck me as counterintuitive. I mean, if someone challenges your authority that profoundly, and you have infinite power,
right,
why not just deal with them instantly?
Right. Seems like it could have saved a lot of trouble down the line.
Yeah.
That's the core question this narrative is trying to answer. Immediate judgment, it might have been misunderstood by the other created beings.
How so?
It could have planted seeds of doubt about God's fairness. Like maybe God was just silencing someone telling an inconvenient truth. It's about how things are perceived, cosmically speaking. So the real challenge becomes, how do you prove something is true against such a heavy accusation? Especially when free will is involved. You can't just force creatures to believe or understand.
Right, you can't just dictate belief. And that's where humanity enters the picture. Adam, created in God's image, part of his purpose was to prove the commandments could be kept.
Exactly. He was meant to be, in a sense, this living demonstration of free will, working with divine law in harmony. But unfortunately, Adam fell to temptation, became, as the narrative puts it, a slave to sin, and therefore under Satan's influence or rule.
And this led to the world we sort of recognize, governed by survival of the fittest.
Pretty much. A world where power, not necessarily love, dictates the rules. And of course, it brought death into the equation. The physical body itself became subject to decay, a stark contrast to that original state.
So, okay, Adam failed. How then could the original truth that the commandments can be kept ever actually be proven?
Well, this is where the Son's victory becomes absolutely critical.
Jesus, the last Adam.
Yes, God, in the person of Jesus, actually became a creature, took on human form.
Right.
He redeemed humanity, and here's the key part. Definitively proved the commandments could be kept by living a completely sinless life. He showed it was possible.
He did what Adam couldn't.
Exactly. And not just that. He overcame death itself through his resurrection. He's called the first fruit of resurrection.
What does first fruit mean here exactly?
It signifies the beginning of something new. His resurrection wasn't just a one-off miracle for him. It's the start, the promise of a new resurrected humanity. And this whole act demonstrated incredible love, right? Paying the ultimate price.
Absolutely.
And then, to make this transformation possible for others, the Holy Spirit is given to believers. This empowers them from the inside to love God, keep His commandments, and overcome sin. It's like the law gets written on their hearts, transforming them back into God's image.
Okay, so we've got the fall, the Son's victory, proving the commandments are keepable, and the Spirit empowering people. But the story isn't quite finished, is it? There's still this final proof needed.
That's right. There's one more crucial piece to fully resolve that initial accusation. The narrative highlights the role of these first fruits.
More first fruits.
Yes. But this time, referring to believers, specifically martyrs. Those who love God and their neighbors so much they follow through, even unto death.
Wow.
Their resurrection, called the first resurrection, isn't just their personal reward. It's presented as the final, undeniable proof visible to all the heavens, all cosmic beings.
Proof of what?
Proof that God's justice and love are absolute, that people can choose God's way, empowered by His love, even facing death. It definitively shows Lucifer's original claim that God was unfair and his law impossible was false.
So it's like the ultimate testimony.
Exactly. It's a cosmic vindication. God's character is proven through sacrifice and willing obedience, witnessed by all. It assures that when God finally does judge all evil, everyone understands his righteousness. No lingering doubts.
And all this culminates in a perfected reality.
Yes. Free will is perfected, not removed, but perfected. The possibility of sin is gone, because love becomes the core motivation for all action. Paradise is restored. All evil is judged, finally dealt with.
And the Son.
The Son hands everything back to the Father, in achieving this state where God is all in all, complete harmonious union, God's loving rule, fully embraced willingly by all creation.
That's quite a journey.
It really underscores that true justice, true love, isn't always about immediate punishment. Sometimes it's about patiently, painstakingly proving the truth, enabling a relationship based on real understanding and willing obedience. It's a massive cosmic validation.
So bringing it back to the listener, what does understanding this grand, sweeping narrative mean for you?
Well, it offers a powerful framework, doesn't it, for making sense of suffering, redemption, the ultimate destiny of everything.
It suggests that maybe even the biggest challenges, like that initial rebellion, have a deeper purpose in revealing fundamental truths. So perhaps it invites you to consider, if love really is the fulfillment of the law, as this narrative suggests, how does understanding this incredibly patient unfolding of justice and truth change how you see purpose in your own life? Something to think about.